Hi everybody, Cerebra Sana in Paris. I'm going to try to make this video very quick. I just wanted to share something disturbing about this very disturbing video. Peekay just posted it and I'm not going to play it here. You can go see it on his channel, but basically we see an attack. And what we clearly see is a cop throwing the first punch. Now I don't speak German, and I wanted to try to find, perhaps another version that might have translation or something. So the first thing I did that I want to do with you here live is I searched, how do you say German police officers attack man in supermarket? So once I got that, so I searched with that translation, and I've got two versions of it. So this is the first one that I clicked, the short one. Okay, this is a mainstream media in Germany. And okay, the first thing I want to point out is, I'm not going to play it, I'll just cut. This is where it starts. It starts already in the violence. So I thought that's strange. So I immediately copied this and I went to translate its own description of the video. And look what it says. At the end of the video, you can see blood dripping on the floor. 2 police officers are attacked by resentful mask refusers. Now, having seen Peekay's version of it and seen that the cop threw the first punch, right away you see how they're twisting the story, right? Then I went back to see this one from RT Germany. It's longer, which means we get to see the whole roll-up to the violence. There's some papers being shown. The guy is actually wearing the mask, right? The guy filming, I don't really know what's going on, but we see a lot more of the scene from before it started. Okay, now generally RT, they're supposed to position themselves as, sort of an alternative and getting the truth out. I was expecting more from them, because what have we got here? We have at least a whole description. So I've got the translation right here. Let's just go and see what RT has posted about this video. It's Google Translate, people. It's not written well, and I'm just going to try to read it as best I can. In a supermarket in Cologne Troisdorf, the supposed routine use of 2 officials has escalated. They were called to a supermarket on Saturday afternoon because 2 men there refused to comply with the protective mask requirement. In an interview with the officials, the situation suddenly escalated. Both police officers were badly injured on the face and have been unable to work. One of the perpetrators filmed the incident and posted the video online. In the user's video, one of the 2 mask refusers is asked to identify himself. Then he pulls out a paper that he apparently wrote and printed himself. In this, he describes himself as a free citizen named Nikolai, and that his freedom should be deprived of him due to a false pandemic, and that he will defend his life and freedom with all means available. With self-protection, he explains that he filmed the mission. His companion advises the officer that his friend will defend himself by all means if the police want to harm him. When the official requests a correct document, in view of his self-written document, he hands him a registration certificate, which is not sufficient for the official since anyone could copy it. He also shows his health insurance card, but the official asks for his ID. The man then replies that he is a human and does not need an identity card. The policeman announces that they will leave the supermarket right away because he refuses to cover his mouth and nose. He would not go anywhere, and the officers would not wear masks themselves, which the police officers do not have to, the officer adds. Because in North Rhine-Westphalia, the observance of the distance requirement and a recommendation to wear a nose and throat covering when the minimum distance is not reached do not apply to security authorities, fire and rescue services, and civil protection as far as the respective operational situations require. Now the man intervenes again. For what reason? All people are the same, only that they are the same, right? Now the official asks him to leave the shop and gives him a dismissal. However, the man does not comply. A few moments later, he again asked him to leave the shop, otherwise he would be brought to the cell. The man seems to want to leave the shop. The officer helps a little. Then the situation escalates and turns into violence. The police wrote, the officers had to be called into the entrance area of the department store on Theodore Heiss Ring around 2:45 p.m. because two men, a 35-year-old resident of Bonn and a 38-year-old residing in Troisdorf, had had a dispute with the employees there because they refused to wear the mouth and nose cover required by the CV Protection Ordinance. While the 38-year-old still refused to put on a nose and throat cover, his companion had put on the necessary protection. When the personal data was found, the man from Bonn disrupted the official act of the police officers through constant provocation and interim speeches. He received a dismissal that he could not comply with. When threatened with follow-up measures, the 35-year-old threatened to stand up in front of one of the police officers and there was a scuffle. His 38-year-old companion punched the other official in the face with the fist and interfered in the dispute. But as we've just seen, he punches him in the face after being sprayed with pepper spray. Slightly different context. Which was observed by a large number of customers. And that's why they jumped in to help, because they saw that the guy was being attacked by the cops. The assailants could only be brought under control and brought to the police station with the help of support staff. The two officers from the Troisdorf police station were seriously injured in the attack. One of the officers contracted a facial fracture from the fist and came to the hospital. The other policeman had to be treated for severe facial bruises. Both are currently not serviceable. The two men say the two suspects had to be released after the completion of the police measures because there were no grounds for detaining them. The investigation into deliberate assault and assault on police officers has begun. RT Deutsch accepts the challenge of shaking up the established German media landscape and questioning established opinions with alternative reporting. We show and write what is otherwise kept secret or cut away. RT, the missing part. How about the missing meaning? How about the missing explanations? How about the missing details? So that's everything here. I just read you everything that was in here. So then I just figured I would take a look at some of these comments, and I chose this one. And look what it says. The police have started shoving the man in the white shirt. This video was cut, which is obvious. It's what I said before, right? It starts already. And as far as this guy attacking this guy, that's not, he didn't attack him. From what I can see, he trips. He tripped on this box. And sort of fell onto this guy. That's how I interpret it. I don't see him purposely charging the police officer and jumping over the obstacle. And then this guy pulls out his pepper spray, spraying him in the face. I don't know, shall we take another comment? Shall we do a couple of these comments live and see what people are saying on this video? Get well soon to the police officers. Fortunately, arrests have been made. Right, of course. Now you see, he's saying, I hope the police officers get well soon. Luckily, he's happy that arrests have been made. Yeah, but he's saying that on something that is totally distorted. This is media distortion. Right, but he's saying that based on a distorted situation. Right, the video is cut. It starts with the scuffle. I don't know, people. The only thing I can say is we did see that some of the people in the store tried to help the guys because they clearly saw that it was the cops who started this. So I don't really know what to say, guys. I just wanted to put this out there very quickly to give you a quick perspective on this. If anybody has any more information, you could just leave it in the comments. If anybody speaks German and who's listening to my channel, please help us understand what's going on. From what I can see, they're not wearing their masks. The police get called because they're not wearing their masks. So right there, we're already in La La Land. So the cops come, they ask for ID, they produce ID, but it's not the right kind of ID that they want, so we have to ask 3 times for different kinds of ID. Right there, we're still in La La Land, a little deeper into it. And then the cop shoves the guy, and the media turn it around and say that the 2 cops were attacked and were seriously injured. I don't know. This is just an excellent example of media manipulation, and I wanted to share it with you. So please, as always, leave your comments below. And if anybody out there speaks German, please help us understand if I've missed something. Okay, everybody. Thanks for being there. Cerebra Sana, signing off from Paris. Bye, everybody.